Sup guys, hope you're doing good. Today I want to talk about something that stops a ton of people from ever getting into investing. And it's this belief that you need a lot of money to start. Like people genuinely think investing is only for folks with thousands sitting around. So they wait and keep telling themselves, I'll start when I make more. And honestly, that mindset right there is what keeps people stuck for years. Because the truth is, investing isn't about starting big. It's about starting early and staying consistent. Those are two completely different things. A lot of people picture investing as this huge leap. You need stacks of cash, complicated apps, charts everywhere, finance knowledge, and if you don't have all that, you're not ready. But investing today is honestly one of the most accessible things you can do. You can start with pocket change. The real barrier isn't money, it's hesitation. And hesitation feels safe. Waiting feels responsible. You convince yourself you're being smart by holding off. But what's actually happening is you're missing the most powerful ingredient in investing, and that's time. Time is the real multiplier. Not how much you start with, not whether you timed it perfectly, just time plus consistency. Think about it like this. Imagine two people. One starts investing tiny amounts early, whatever they can afford. $10 here, 20 there. The other person waits years because they want to start with a bigger chunk. The wild part is the early starter often ends up ahead, not because they invested more, but because their money had more time to grow. And I know, $10 doesn't feel like anything. It almost feels pointless. Like, what's the point of investing such a small amount? But that's where mindset comes in. Starting small isn't about the immediate return. It's about building the habit. It's about proving to yourself that you're someone who shows up consistently. That identity shift is huge. Most people don't fall behind financially because they lack opportunity. They fall behind because they never build systems or habits. They keep waiting for the right moment, and the right moment never feels right enough. Starting small removes pressure. You're not risking your life savings. You're learning the process. You're getting comfortable, and comfort turns into confidence. Another thing people don't talk about is how waiting trains the wrong behavior. Every time you delay starting, you reinforce the idea that investing is something you'll do later. And later has a funny way of stretching forever. Meanwhile, the person investing small amounts is building momentum. They're learning how markets move. They're getting used to ups and downs. They're adapting emotionally. So when they invest more later, it doesn't feel scary. It feels normal. And that emotional side is underrated. Investing isn't just math, it's psychology. If you panic every time numbers move, you'll make bad decisions. Starting small lets you experience that movement without huge stakes. It's like practice reps. There's also this myth that small investing doesn't matter because the gains look tiny at first. But the early phase is never about flashy growth. It's about foundation. Think of it like going to the gym. Your first workouts don't transform your body overnight, but skipping them guarantees nothing changes. Consistency compounds quietly. You won't wake up rich next month, but you will wake up more disciplined and intentional. And those traits spill into everything else. Another reason starting small beats waiting is momentum. Once something becomes part of your routine, your brain treats it as normal. $10 becomes 20, then 50. Growth follows identity. Waiting does the opposite. Investing stays in this imaginary future category. It's something you plan to do instead of something you actually do. And here's the part people don't like hearing. There is no magical moment where you suddenly feel ready. Income goes up, expenses go up. Life gets busier. If you wait for perfect conditions, you'll be waiting forever. Starting small teaches you to operate within your current reality. You don't need ideal circumstances. You need intention. I'm not saying throw money around blindly. Learning matters. Understanding what you're investing in matters. But you don't need a finance degree to begin. You just need the willingness to start imperfectly. Imperfect action beats perfect planning every time. The person researching investing for years without starting is falling behind the person who started messy and learned along the way. Because investing isn't just about returns, it's about behavior. It's about becoming someone who prioritizes future growth over instant gratification. And the cool part is when you start small, mistakes are cheap. You learn lessons early without heavy consequences. That experience is priceless. You can't simulate investing emotions. You have to live them. Over time, those tiny contributions add up. But more importantly, your mindset shifts. Money stops feeling like something that slips through your hands. It becomes something you direct intentionally. Once you reach that stage, scaling feels natural. Increasing contributions feels like leveling up instead of jumping into the unknown. So when people say, I'll invest when I have more money, what they're really saying is, I'll build the habit later, and habits don't magically appear. They're built through repetition, even tiny repetition. If you start today, you're not just investing dollars, you're investing in discipline, awareness, and long-term thinking. Those compound just like money does. And this isn't about pressure or guilt. Everyone's situation is different. The message is simple. Progress doesn't require big moves. It requires consistent small ones. Future you isn't going to care that you started with $10. Future you is going to be glad you started at all. Once investing feels normal, not scary or complicated, you've crossed the biggest barrier most people never do. You took action. That's the takeaway. Waiting builds hesitation. Starting builds momentum. And momentum changes outcomes. So if you've been telling yourself you'll start someday, take this as your sign to stop overthinking and take the first small step. Not perfectly, just intentionally. That's really the whole point. You don't need a lot to begin, you just need to begin. If this gave you a different perspective, feel free to like or subscribe. It helps more than you think. I'll keep making simple, real talk breakdowns like this, so stick around if that's your vibe. Appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.